up. My hair's a mess. Sorry, guys. Okay. Sorry. I have my thingy, my top thingy on my phone is pushed out. Okay. Rant Tuesday's here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming in and hanging out today. And my horrible hair. I don't know. But, okay, so it's Rant Tuesday, and I have a couple of things going on. And, hello, thank you for coming in. Make thyself be known. Let me know I'm talking to. Yes, I wouldn't miss Rants in My Pants Tuesday for nothing. I like that, Rants in My Pants. I got lots of rants, always. So, one thing I'm ranting about today is what the hell is up with this weather? I am so tired of it. Okay, so yesterday, beautiful, 70 degrees. Sunday was okay. It wasn't like horribly sunny or anything like that, but it was nice. Today, like, the wind could blow my car away, and it's raining horribly. I'm so tired of this weather. If I had the source, if I could, I would sell my house and move to a sunnier location. I would. I cannot stand this. This weather is horrible. Okay, so thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. But yeah, so this weather is just one of my rants for today. I can't get in the garden. I can't do anything. And it's frustrating. Me too. Today is super windy, in the 50s, on and off rain. Tomorrow it's supposed to snow. That means it's probably supposed to snow here. I don't want it to snow anymore. That's my rant for the day. Thank you for listening. I'm just really surprised that I even have a signal out here, but I'm also not hooked up to the Wi-Fi day after. Okay. I have grown both. And indeterminate, I can't remember the difference. Determinate and indeterminate. Indeterminate are the ones that burn out. And determinate, I think, are the ones that stay. So, okay. Okay, I don't understand that. The devil's heart. Okay, whatever floats your boat. By the way, that looks like Metatron in your picture down there. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna let you know okay, because a few years ago I did do that. I was like, okay, I want to test this and see exactly what's better. And I grew, I think it was the indeterminate tomatoes, and they were really quick to get a tomato on there. I think it was like 50 days. And I got like big tomatoes and everything, but I didn't get enough. So if you plan on canning or anything like that, you want the other variety. That will last you all summer. And sometimes with me and tomatoes, they last clear up until the frost date, as long as I can keep them healthy and they don't have a bug problem. So really it's up to you what you would prefer. And like, if you want tomatoes ASAP, some of them, like some of those other ones, they don't take very long, but once they have bloomed out, that's it. Then you have to rip them up. And then you can also give yourself another chance to put like another tomato type or variety in there. Yeah. Okay. So is your name Chell? Thank you for being here, by the way. that's the difference that I had noticed. I got my seeds from Johnny Seeds, and okay, it's Shelly. Okay, I'm sorry. Um I got my seeds from Johnny Seeds, and I really like them. I love all their hybrid seeds. If you look on there, okay, now I'm not against heirlooms at all. Okay, I think they're wonderful. I think they all have their own really cool region of the world that they came from, and they have really awesome stories. And I love heirloom varieties, and I think they're beautiful. However, some of them are not strong. They're not strong at all. So I was starting to look for different varieties that don't get blight, that don't get the tomato viruses and stuff like that. Because what was happening every year with ours, and I was planting things like Amish paste and those things. I think I've planted a lot of different types of varieties of tomatoes. So Amish paste and all of that kind of stuff. And what was happening, okay, the first year they did great. The second year they got a blight and they turned black and they weren't doing very good. Now you could have that virus in your soil and it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to get crappy tomatoes. So you could go to Johnny Seeds and take a look and see what they have as far as your hybrids go. And they have like built up their tomatoes to protect against stuff like that. So that might be something that you might be interested in the future. And I know a lot of people even that live in the South, they can't grow heirloom tomatoes because it just gets so hot that it wipes them out. So they have to look for varieties, hybrid varieties that will, and honestly, for me, as long as it's not a GMO, I don't really care. I'm going to try and grow it. So, I just have a thing against GMOs. I have many rants. I feel sorry for your utility prices going up. Oh, I know. Supposedly they're going up in June. And that's funny. Right when it gets hot, it goes up and we'll be using our air conditioning. Right? For the most part, we don't use a lot of electricity. And we have a wood burning stove. So for heat and stuff. So I don't know. Hey, hunting and stuff. Thanks for being here. Definitely change your tomato location in your yard. Don't compost blight plants. Yes, yeah. You have to really watch. I know a lot of people don't think about this at all, but even your trimmers, like, oh, say for instance, you're cutting back, like say for instance, my cucumbers got a blight on them, or that mildewy stuff that they get, and you take and you're cutting the leaves off to, try and prevent some stuff, or you trying to prune them back or whatever. Those need to be washed. It's just like a hospital. You don't want to spread that stuff around. So you just have to really, really make sure that all your instruments and stuff like that are clean. And yes, you want to rotate in your garden. And my tomatoes haven't been rotated in a long time. And that's okay too. But rotating does help, and it actually prevents bugs too, from coming back. If you have a lot of bugs in your garden, chances are, you really need to look into I don't know what it's called. Plants will send a hormone or a signal out when they're being attacked and stuff like that. So do a little more research into that, because once your plant starts dying, they basically sacrifice themselves and the bugs will start attacking that. So you want to have the most healthiest plant you could possibly have when you plant it in your garden. Because if not, then they, like I said, they send out that hormone, and before you know it, bugs will start and bugs can just sense weakness, and they'll just come and they'll attack. And a lot of people do this too. They plant in 2 different locations in their garden, and one will be the sacrificial, Why are we talking about this? That is not even the subject. I just like, yeah, I was adopted, so I don't even want to talk about that. Peace out. Um, let's see. But anyway, a lot of people do that too. They plant like a bed in their garden that's just like sacrificial. It's okay if the bugs attack that, because what they'll do is like the bugs will attack that and not attack the other parts of your garden. People do that. But where it all starts, and where what I have learned in the past, is it all starts in your soil. Feed your soil. Feed your soil good nutritional things. Like last year, I did biochar. I did organic fertilizers. I also did milk, spoiled milk. I poured that right in my garden. You got to feed those microbes. You feed the microbes take care of your soil. They grow your soil, and you will have wonderful plants and hardly any bugs. And last year I hardly had any bugs whatsoever. It's because I literally, like, my son doesn't drink, we don't drink milk very rarely. I stopped eating cereal and stuff like that because it's so sugary. It's really not good for you. So we'd buy a gallon of milk, and before you know it, like, it would spoil, or it'd be past its expiration date because we didn't drink enough of it. So I was taking it, I was leaving it outside for a day or so and letting it get, spoiled, and then I would pour it directly in my garden beds. And it helps. It feeds the microbes. So, that's something that you're going to want to think of. Shelly, also take a lower leaves off your tomatoes. Yes, you want to have good airflow underneath as well. And we always do that as well. I threw out some milk, biochar, and horse poo. I just have to till it in. Yep. Yeah. The spoiled milk really works. Really works in the garden. It's really good for the soil. And I did that. And biochar. Biochar. It really works. The bugs don't like it either. And whatever, so. Welcome back. It's the good gut bacteria. Yes, and you need to have that in your soil, because that's what's going on in the world right now with food, okay? What's going on is the soil doesn't have any nutritional value whatsoever because they're wiping it out, okay? They're using things like poisons and whatever, and it's getting into the soil. So when the plant grows, it has no nutritional value whatsoever. So when and this is also a theory of mine, I don't really know. I have never spoke to anybody about this, but what I'm thinking is, when people eat foods like vegetables, they're trying to be healthier. They're eating these foods, but they're still hungry because the foods that they're eating have no nutritional value in them. And that's, and it's not, they're not getting anything from it. So it's making them more hungry because they're trying to fill a need that they can't, because the food that we are getting is not, there's no nutrition in it whatsoever. And yeah, okay, you can get some from broccoli and lettuces and stuff like that, but it's not enough. Most of the vitamins that we get that are in our plants and stuff come from the soil. And a lot of people don't understand that. That is a great tip. I use the eggs and eggshells and plant sardines under the tomatoes. That's really great. Just really watch with anything that's super stinky, because if it's super stinky, like if you use fish emulsion and stuff, I have gotten raccoons that just wreak havoc in my garden. Yeah, got the rain. It's horrible, isn't it? So just be careful with like, you might get some critters in your garden because of the smell. But yeah, I used to do an egg underneath every single tomato plant. And one year I had 70 tomato plants in the ground, and a raccoon came and basically lifted every single tomato plant I had just to get to the egg. So that's something to think about too, and really watch with like really something that's really, really super stinky, because you're going to get raccoons and stuff in your garden, and you don't want that either. So be careful with that. But yeah, so that's my theory about why there's a lot of obesity today. And a lot of people have a struggle with their weight is because they are nutrient deficient. And it's because their body isn't getting the nutrients that they need because of the soil. So it's really important to grow your own garden and feed the soil and stuff like that. Fish emulsion brings out all the furry critters. I try to water that on a rainy day. For real. I watered a rose bush with it, not thinking, and I had a raccoon eat my rose bush. Thorns and all. And I was like, that had to have been really painful. But it wanted that fish emulsion. So, and and like things like rose tone, it's stinky, whatever. Bone meal, that's really stinky. I've had dogs try to eat that. So just be careful with what you're putting out there, and just make sure you watch if you do. Or like Happy Mac said, she puts it on when it's raining, which makes sense. Yeah, I am not a fan of raccoons whatsoever. They wreak havoc on my chickens, and they have wreaked havoc in my garden, and it's been horrible. Thank you for the thumbs up. 6 thumbs up, 4 people in the house. Thank you so much for being here today. Appreciate it. Mice ate my bag of bone meal. Evil. Yes, they're horrible, aren't they? And I had rats one year. I have rats coming in the garden and stealing my cucumbers. I was so pissed, guys. So angry. It was last year, actually. I had bought these wonderful hybrid cucumbers from Johnny's, and I only had 30 seeds because, by the way, they're like $14 for 30 seeds. They're really expensive, but it works. It works. You get more. You get more of a yield. So I had planted every cucumber that I had, and I was like, looking out there, and it was beautiful vines, just had these beautiful vines. And I'm like, I had a cucumber. They just weren't ready to pick yet. Next day I go out there and they're gone. And I was like, what? I was so mad. So, they even broke some of my vines and stuff like that. So we had to put traps out there, and stuff like that, and to get them, because it's horrible. And by the way, if you have chickens or anything like that, more than likely you're going to have a rat problem because the feed. And if you have an auto feeder, or you built one of those auto feeders out of a trash bin, you will have more of a rat problem, because the more feed you have just hanging around, the more pests you're going to have. I have to do better with storage containers. I have barrels with lock tops, but my arms aren't long enough to reach the bottom. Yeah, we have those too, and I could definitely not reach to the bottom of those. No way. We are in pest control. The antidote to rat bait is vitamin K, and vitamin K is in most dog food. So if you ever bait for them, put the dog food up. Nice. Interesting. Rats are very, very smart creatures, so you have to tease them a little bit. So you put the food out a little bit, you get them used to the location, and when you get them used to the location, then you bait trap them. You have to, it takes a while to trap rats. because they're so smart, and they won't go after that again. Once they've been caught, they won't go after it again. You have to find another location or wait again about a month or so and then put the trap out there again so they forget. Oh my God, it's Cosmic Cultivators. What's up? I love you guys. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Rats are smart and they're annoying. They're smart and they're annoying. I'm sure Cosmic Cultivators could tell you all about that because they've had issues with rats too. Anybody that has animals, when your feed is hanging around, you're going to have critters. So unfortunately, the best thing to do is try to just keep the population down. I know sometimes my husband and I would go out at night, late at night, with his gun or 22 and just deal with it. We ended up getting some kind of night vision, and we used to have such a great time doing that. We'd go out there at midnight and shoot rats. And still fighting the battle now. They're going after the chicken coop instead of the greenhouse. Fun times. Oh, that's horrible. Good luck. I have to be on top of it. You just have to, we ended up purchasing, I actually have a video on it. We purchased this thing called the Ratinator. And it's a flat trap. And we put feed in it, and got them used to it. We didn't close the trap. We got them used to the location. And yeah, they would come in there. They would eat the feed, have a good heyday. We fed them good. And then one day we set the trap and we put feed in there. And then they got in there and we caught like 25 rats in one container. So something to think about, but everybody has the issue if you have animals. So, and I'm sorry you guys are fighting that. That's horrible. That's really nothing you can do about it. You just gotta stay on top of it. Usually a chicken though, if a rat is small enough and they're still a baby, usually a chicken will take them out, depending. But yeah, so my neighbor had rats last year. None of us ever had rats, but we had a lot of rain last year, plenty of food to boost the population. Yeah, it's just horrible, horrible stuff. And I don't want to have rats around. Rats create diseases and all different kinds of stuff. So you definitely don't want them anywhere near your food or anything like that. So that wasn't really a part of my Rant Tuesday, but thank you. Let's see. But yeah, I hope that you're feeding your soil. That's all new stuff that I've learned, especially through Grow Big TV with doing that. I've just learned a lot of stuff, and I tested it last year and I hardly had any bug pressure at all. Now, when you're doing organic gardening, you're going to have bugs. Okay, so don't get me wrong on that, but I did have a few bugs here and there. But we also used that combination with the Surround, which Surround is a clay that you put on your plants. And we did that with the Surround, and we hardly had any bugs whatsoever. That Surround is amazing stuff. Our chickens have definitely been trying to control the population with us. I did find a birth control that is supposed to also reduce the population. It's just cottonseed oil. Interesting. We need more fox. Never had a problem before the fox hunters went nuts. Oh, we don't need any foxes in my area. I had a fox den down the street. And we have foxes. I've had a fox basically take out almost all my turkeys. And this is the funny thing. One day, I can't remember if it was Valentino or Junior. They were both from they looked the same. And a fox came into my back field and picked up Junior. And I saw it. I just pulled in my driveway and I saw it. It was in the middle of the freaking day. I go and I run out there. I'm like, don't you dare, you pipe junior down. I was yelling at it. I was yelling at it so, and it did. It got scared of me and it ran away. So I chased that fox away, but we have foxes. Yeah. And I noticed, I think the neighbor's dog has been coming onto our property. They have miniature Australian shepherds. And so their dogs do a really good job. They don't ever bring them in. They leave them outside and they patrol the yard. They have like electric collars on or whatever. They patrol the yard. And so I think they do a really good job at keeping critters away and stuff like that. I'm so glad, because in the beginning we wanted to get like a Great Pyrenees or something. I'm glad we didn't do that, because all we have is really chickens. It's not like we don't have goats or anything like that. So there's really nothing to guard in the yard. We just have to make sure that our chicken coop is secure. I used to feed Chubba chicken sandwiches to keep her around. Chubba is a pretty girl in my YouTube picture. Oh, okay. I can't see it. Sorry. Well, that's cool. Okay, so my nose itches. Sorry, guys. We've all been hit with a cold. So Sunday we went hiking and we had a really great time. Took my mom with me and we had a blast. And then I could barely walk. I'm having issues, inflammatory issues with my body. I don't really know exactly what is going on with that, but I'm just having some major issues. So I am having a procedure done on the 25th. I'm having like a biopsy done. And so I'm hoping that they figure out what's going on with me. And so I don't know. We'll see. I don't really want to dive into it too much because I don't, but I don't know. We'll see how that is all going to come into play. But that's interesting about the cottonseed oil. Might have to check that out. Especially if we get critters in the garden this year. Yeah, Happy Mac. I hope they do too. I hope it's not cancer or something like that, because that's what is really going on. I'm just not too happy about. Yeah. I'm having a lot of issues with my hormones and stuff. So if you're a female, then you understand. So we'll see what happens. I'm just hoping that they can fix that, because I'm at the point where I can't stand it anymore. I've had enough. Thank you guys for coming in and hanging out today. I really appreciate it. If you, ouch, sorry, sitting here is kind of hurting me. If you don't know where to get biochar, you can buy biochar off of Amazon. I'm sure they have it on there. You'll probably just have to pay a lot of money for it. I'm not really growing anything new. I am growing, however, the fuzzy peach tomato. What is the other one? Orange fizz. I'm going to grow that. I got some Valencia that I'm growing, the tomato called Valencia. And there's a few other items that are new. I'm not really growing anything new per se. They're just newer types of tomatoes. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm also growing some black scabosa, which is those black flowers. So that's going to be interesting too. I really love black flowers. They're really pretty. I don't know if you follow Kat Von D on Instagram or anything like that. Probably not. She's kind of a little different. But one year she planted an entire field of black tulips. I was so into that. I was very, very into that. Very cool. Um, but yeah, so. Yeah, yeah, it's I cannot remember the name of it. Something peach. You're right. It's something peach. It's like a peachy fuzzy tomato, so I'm going to attempt to grow that this year. I'm curious as to what it really tastes like or if it's just going to be disgusting. Okay, I think I've tried a lot of tomatoes. I will have to check that out. I love tulips, but never knew they came in black. Yeah, they're very cool. I'm sure she paid a fortune for them. I mean, she's rich, so she can afford that. Um, so she planted all these tulip bulbs in this field, and it looks so cool. It looks so pretty. Oh my God, my car is like, yeah, the wind is pretty hardcore today. Um, let's see, what else? What else? Um, so yeah, I've grown a lot of different types of tomatoes, and the worst one I think I've ever grown was the lychee tomato. Don't ever grow that tomato. You will regret it. You will regret it. It is a thorny tomato. It's a husked tomato. And there is thorns all over it. Okay? So we waited. And by the way, you would think that it was like some magnificent fruit in there. And you know, hey, Uncle Al. Happy Mac. um, and you would think that it was going to have this wonderful fruit in there, like delicious, tastes maybe like a cherry, or something. It was horrible. Oh, you could bake pies with it. I'm sure you could. Anything's good if you add 8 pounds of sugar to it. It was disgusting. It was not good at all. And we just decided to let it go. Well, we let it go, all right. And it turned it, by the way, it had beautiful flowers. The flowers on it, and the bees loved it. The bees loved it. But it was not a good plant. And it grew up. It kind of had thorns on it like a raspberry or blackberry bush. It was horrible. Oh, I am so sorry, guys. I can't imagine having a bulging disc. My body hurts so bad. Like, that would be horrible. I am so sorry. It's just been... Okay, so I thought it was a vitamin D deficiency. And by the way, I've been taking vitamin D every day, and my body it has helped my body, okay? I haven't been in horrible pain. However, Sunday I could barely walk. And I believe it's hormonal. I think I'm having some it's more than just girl issues. I'm just having some issues. I am getting a biopsy done at the end of this month, and I'm hoping that they don't find anything. I'm hoping that it's just something that's not so serious, and that I can get it fixed. But I'm so sorry, because that is 2-hour ultrasound. I can't imagine. I used to love the ground cherries as a kid. Unfortunately, my taste buds say no now. Oh, that stinks. I love ground cherries. I used to make ground cherry jam, but after a while, like one year we planted like 11 ground cherry bushes. We had so many ground cherries. They were literally like coming out the wazoo. Like, we had so many of them, and they're just prolific. They were slow to start, very slow to start, but um once they what? Okay. You know what? if if we weren't like really into the poop troop around here, I would have I wouldn't have thought that was so weird, but that's a really weird comment. Eat liver. And yes, I thought about that, but I don't want to mess with anything right now. I want to go to the doctor first and figure it out. And if they can't do anything about it, then I'm going to look into the primal. They have like liver pills and stuff like that. Yes, I will. Well, thank you, Richard Evans. I'm laughing because that's like that's, I don't know. How do you know about the poop troop? Or are you just being goofy? That is hilarious. That's something the poop troop used to do. Mine is vascular. They're looking to fix the veins in my legs. That's what the second hour. Oh my gosh. I'm praying for y'all. Okay, you don't know about the poop troop. You just decided to let us know about your bowel movements. Okay, thank you. I don't want any liver pate. Thank you. I have a really hard time with meat. I can't imagine eating a pate. No. No. The poop troop is $1 a month, and you have to be a member. It's $1 a month. That's $12 a year. You can be a poop troop member. No thanks. No peanut butter and liver. They do have those pills though that you can take where you don't have to mess with that. So, totally I will do that. Bring your family. Who's your family? No, this is all done through YouTube, goofball. And we're a gardening group, so I don't know if that's what you're interested in. Anything else, you would have to find a weirdo at Oatly's fans. What else? I don't know. But yeah, that's what's really going on with me, you guys. I've just been a wreck and just trying to fix things. Yeah, we're a gardening channel. This is gardening. We're the poop troop. Yep. Richard Evans. Primal Queen, that's what I was thinking of. Have been taking them every day. Does make a difference. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I just don't want to take them just yet, because if I do have something wrong, I want them to figure it out. And then if they can't fix me, then I'm going to start with that. First try on Fred and Dustin liver pet. No. Oh my God. Fred would just not eat that at all. I can't even get him to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I can't. No. Uncle Al. You're like that uncle that like follows you around with the freaking goat eyeball. Like, ew, eat it. It's good luck. I had to go out and come back, and YouTube is nuts. Yes, YouTube is nuts. They do some really weird crap. I don't know why, but they do. And like, yeah. So just a second ago, I had 2 people in here. Now I have 6. My lashes? I don't even have anything on my eyelashes. Not the goat eyeball. Yes, from my big fat Greek wedding. Yes, he's like the aunt or uncle that is like wants to follow you around with the goat eyeball, like, eat this, it's good luck. And you're like, no, I don't want to eat that. Thank you for hitting the like button. I appreciate it. Yeah. So all they do is probably have to hit a button and they're like, AI is doing this today. Yeah. But this is my life today, guys. This is my life. Can't go outside, can't do anything. And now if it's snowing tomorrow, I really can't do anything in the garden. And I really won't be able to do anything in the garden if I can't walk. I've been having issues. I'm sitting in my vehicle. It is I just got it. It's a brand new Subaru. It's a brand new Subaru Forester. It's the Subaru Wilderness Edition. I love this vehicle. It's probably the best car I've ever owned, and it's the only new car I've ever gotten in my life. And it's all-wheel drive. It's an off-road vehicle as well. You can go off-road with it. It has all these fang-dangles things. I have no idea what they all do. It can connect to Starlink. I have a bunch of cool stuff in this car. Leather seats. It's just nice. Yeah. And I got this out of desperation because I had a GMC Terrain before this, and I love that vehicle. By the way, that was the vehicle I loved. I was in love with it. Okay, I've been in love with that vehicle for years, and then I finally got it. Losing signal. And so I had that, and I had to give it to my husband because my husband's truck took a poop, literally. And so then we had to buy this. Oh, yes, we got how this is going in and out. Nice. But yes, I just finished making garlic bread. But yeah, we got, we don't have beans in the ground yet. Sorry, guys. I'm probably gonna have to cut this short. Reminds me that some turd used their hand to wipe the inside of the windshield and it's all smudged. Okay, sorry, guys. All right, well, I'm gonna end this. I've been on for 40 minutes anyway. If you do want to be a member of Wide Family Farm, put some Windex on it. And like I said, it's 99 cents a month. It's not very expensive to be a Poop Troop member. There we go. So wake up, and I'll probably be live tomorrow at the same time.